Welcome to another edition of HBCU Sports Live. It's the usual cast of characters here. It's your boy, Ken Rashad, joined by Jared Hoffman, who believes it's HBCUs versus everybody, and Chris Stevens. The final countdown, whatever that means.
Final minutes before, hours actually, before Delaware State, South Carolina State.
Yeah.
Let us pray.
Chris, I get the sense that you are like, what, kind of nervous at this point? Or you?
I'm as nervous as I'm gonna be careful with my words here, but my grandmother used to say this all the time. I'm as nervous as a WH in church. I'm just like, ooh, Lord have mercy.
Jared, how you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm excited. I'm very excited. It's a historic weekend for my guys.
It is.
When I say my guys, I mean the Division II HBCUs. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to I wish I could really enjoy all the games, but I'll be out. So I'll only be able to half focus on the games, but I will be giving it all the attention I can give.
Right. So look, we have got a huge show. I mean, we've got a lot to cover. And we've got, we're going to talk about Florida Classic. We're going to talk about the Soul Bowl. We're going to ask the question if this is the year of the Wildcat. Obviously, we got the MEAC Championship game on slate. And just, isn't it amazing that, as luck would have it, we're going to have a MEAC and a SWAC championship game. All right. We are going to talk about the news surrounding Marshall Faulk and the possibility of him being coach at Southern. Yeah, look, Chris, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. And so, look, let's get started. But before we do, Jared Hoffman, you've got a podcast.
Yeah. Yesterday, I just went live for the Better Than Less Than podcast. So every Thursday is when I do Better Than Less Than podcast. Is where we focus on Division II and NAIA HBCUs. So if the CIAA, SIAC, HBCUAC, or our independent friends like West Virginia State, Langston, Lincoln, Missouri, Zula, Florida Memorial, so on and so forth, then you will come to the Better Than Less Than podcast every Thursday. And if you want to be the Mackenzie Scott of the operation, please, donate so that we can continue to give you this great coverage, that you hold so dearly. But yeah, every Thursday, 2:30, whichever time I choose, I will be doing the Better Than Less Than podcast.
Chris Stevens, you got 2 podcasts.
I got 3 actually, but I'm going to limit it to 2 for the benefit of those at home. The Better Than No, that's Jared. Oh my God! Why am I?
Whoa!
Hey!
I know you got a bunch of podcasts, man. Don't be trying to take the only one I got. Don't be trying to take the only one I got, man. Come on now.
I'll be promoting yours, better than some other folks promote theirs. I promote my own, but yeah, Jared has the Better Than Less Than podcast, which covers everything D2. Your boy Chris Stevens has the MEAC and more. I cover everything involving the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, and also including our friends at Hampton, A&T, Tennessee State. That goes on every Wednesday at 12. So 12 Eastern. So if you guys want to, check me out, talking everything MEAC and more, I've got some guests on the way. We're going to be getting into basketball season soon. We're going to wrap up football season, or we're going to wrap up the MEAC season next week. So look forward to that. And I have a music podcast. It is called On the Groove Line. You can go to youtube.com/@OnTheGrooveLine. I cover everything old school R&B, hip hop, funk, disco, you name it. If it's black music from back in the day, I got it. In fact, I'm excited to announce that I have a very special guest coming this Monday. One of the co-founder of one of the greatest bands of the 70s and 80s. I got Michael Cooper, the lead guitarist and co-founder of Confunction. That episode drops on Monday.
Fun.
Yeah, you know the one. Yeah. He tells it. He's gonna tell a great story about Love Strain. He's gonna talk about fun. He's gonna talk about everything involving Confunction. I'm very excited to bring that episode to you guys. So you'll want to tune in for that. So subscribe once again. It's youtube.com/@OnTheGrooveLine.
So I got podcasts. I got this one. And I got pictures too. So, hey, you know, we got this. Hey, we out there on the grind, man. We trying to make a little money, trying to make a little coin. These cats, these brothers ain't cheap. Believe me, ask Kendrick Marshall. And he's, you can go to I've got my own YouTube channel, by the way. Well, I got this one, but I got another one. It's the Ken Rashad channel, in which there are two podcasts that are being featured. It's the Ken Rashad Show, which is a show that talks about entrepreneurship, branding, lifestyle. And look, we feature Black entrepreneurs, man. As a matter of fact, I not too long ago, about a couple of weeks ago, I featured Lucius McDaniel IV. The brother is like 25 years old, and he tells the story how he went about creating a multi-million-dollar app. He's already gotten one round of funding. He's about to announce another round of funding in the very near future, and I can only assume there's going to be more than 1.5 million that he got the initial time. So, yeah, exactly. 25 years old. All right. Then there's HBCU Titans, where we literally profile and highlight entrepreneurs, high-level executives, and community leaders who graduated from HBCUs. So yeah, we all know about Oprah and all the big-time people who they constantly put out there in the HBCU space, but now we're talking about the people that you don't necessarily hear about every day, though, that are leaders and are influencers within the communities, and they are doing the things, they are doing the damn things, if you will, through the work that they provide for the people that they serve. So HBCU Titans, Ken Rashad Show on the Ken Rashad channel. Hey man, subscribe to it. It's growing, but I'm telling you, the first HBCU Titan we interviewed, she comes from FAMU. Tracy Ellis, man, tells the story about the importance of family legacy and what's estate planning. I mean, she talked about how Prince messed it up and how Aretha Franklin had to go through the problems with her sons when she passed. I mean, look, man, fam, you represented in that episode. So, hey, go to the channel, check it out. And I got another guest that's coming up. Oh, man, it's going to be good. All right. So that's the Ken Rashad channel featuring the Ken Rashad Show and HBCU Titans. And we'll leave it at that. All right. So, okay. Where do we start? We've got breaking news. This literally happened while we were planning for the show. And Jared was, you know, I don't know how he feels about this, but Bowie State announced that they would not be renewing the contract of Kyle Jackson, who, well, you know what, Jared, I'll let you handle this one, man. What are your thoughts about Bowie State not renewing the contract of Kyle Jackson?
So Kyle Jackson was hired as the interim coach in 2022 by Bowie State as the interim coach in 2022, following the dismissal of Damon Wilson, who is now the head coach of Morgan State. Hopefully, we're not saying that this will be his final game this upcoming Saturday, but he was hired in 2022 as interim coach, was upgraded to full-time head coach in 2023, and in the process, finished with a 19-21 overall record. Had, unfortunately, the 2024 season, they finished 4-6, which snapped, I believe, a 10-plus season streak of winning seasons. And this past year, finished with a 3-7 overall record. So there was a lot of talent in the room, in that locker room, but it just didn't seem like. No, he wasn't dismissed. No, he left. He left for the Morgan State job. So I don't mean to say he was dismissed as in he was fired, but yeah, there's a lot of talent in that locker room, but you know, just getting unlucky when Damon left and all the talent went out the door with them. Guys like Jonathan Ross left. Guys like Jesus, I forget the running back's name every single time. But just so much talent. They were fortunate to keep Joshua Pryor in the wake of Damon leaving, you know. But just so much talent went out the window, and Kyle was forced to build from the ground up. And he had a very good first 2 years, 6-4 each of his first 2 years, but the mass exodus of talent continued to catch up with him, and he wasn't really able to find a direction, in his 3 years as full-time head coach. So I'm not going to say this was surprising news. Of course you would, him being a Bowie State alum, they gave him the opportunity to coach out his contract, and not firing him, so kudos to Bowie State for actually giving him an opportunity to coach out his contract. But I can't say this news is very surprising.
So can you, or do you have any information, Jared, as to maybe who they could be considering at this point? Or do you have maybe a short wish list that you like for the school to consider? Or
so no, I do not have insight on who is on the candidates list. But as far as my wish list, I mean, I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but I want Anton Sewell to be a head coach. And I feel like he would be a great guy to take the reins as head coach of Bowie State. Please do not.
Kendrick, this guy.
Anyway, if my wish list would be,
I'm not going to even share it.
Yeah, don't even share it.
Please.
But if I were to have a wish list, it would be Anton Sewell. And if not Anton Sewell, no, I don't want anybody else. I want if I were to have my choice, it would be Anton Sewell.
Okay. Real quick, someone in the chat, I think he said, Chris, what was that interview site again? Let me show you if I can. Okay, is it up? There it is. This is Chris's channel on the Groove Line. Okay, that's his YouTube channel. I'm telling you, man. You see, all I'm gonna say is my all-time favorite is the one that he did on Smokey Robinson, and that's all I'm gonna say. So if nothing else, obviously you want to subscribe to his channel, but definitely check out the one that he did on Smokey Robinson. I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying. All right. So that brings us into where we are right now, in which we are literally, and some may say this is just kind of like by chance. There's a part of me that thinks not. But we've got 5 HBCUs that are going to be competing in Division II playoffs this year. 5. And when you put in consideration the years when we gave the NCAA committee a side eye for overlooking teams that we knew deserved to be in but didn't necessarily get one, I like to say that the results speak for themselves to the extent that they couldn't deny allowing these institutions an opportunity to compete. So I would say, Jared, we can start with you. I'll just leave the floor is open. Who wants to talk about this? Let's list the schools. We got Albany State, Virginia Union, Kentucky State, Johnson C. Smith, and who else? Who am I missing? Benedict. Okay, so 5 schools. And I'll just, floor is open. Go ahead.
I want to let Jared run this whole thing because this is his beat and he's damn good at it. But I just got one thing to say. Delta State, quit crying. You had your shot. That's all I got. That's all I got.
That's all you got to say.
Kentucky State won 9 games for the first time since 1935. I don't think anybody in our immediate lineage is still around from 1935.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking 90 years. This is a team that, Ken Rashad, took Grambling to overtime. Felton Huggins Jr. has done a phenomenal job, and they won 9 games. That and Delta State, nobody told you to stay in a conference that, to quote the late great Michael Richardson, the ship be sinking. Y'all got 4 schools left. You knew the job was dangerous when you took it. So I'm tired of hearing Delta State crying. I'm tired of hearing people in the Division II journalism space carrying Delta State's water. Kentucky State earned their shot. Delta State didn't. Quit crying. Try again next year. Jarrett, floor is yours.
I swear, me and Chris are on the same wavelength, because that was going to be the first thing I was going to say. It's not Kentucky State's fault that the SIAC entered an agreement with Conference Carolinas.
Hello.
So y'all keep blaming Kentucky State for this. You really think that Kentucky State has that kind of power, that they can overrule the SIAC and say, no, we already scheduled this game with Delta State? No, the conferences agreed that this was going to happen, so they had no choice. USOL, you should have beat Valdosta State. That's not Kentucky State's fault that you lost the Valdosta State. So what? Like, what do you want them to do? What do you want them to do? Like, I'm gonna just end it with this. I don't want to hear none of that hating from outside the club. You can't even get in. All right.
Wow. Well, so looking at some of these lineups, Chris, like the one that immediately got my attention was the fact that Albany State is going to be hosting Valdosta State, the team you just finished talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I know these things, you can't compare one team to the previous year, but we cannot deny that Valdosta State has been dominant for quite some time now. But now Albany State has the opportunity to host. What are we to make about that matchup? What are your initial thoughts about that matchup, as well as the other games on the slate?
I don't see a team that is going back to the Division II championship game. This isn't the same team Tremaine Jackson had a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And this Albany State team has looked really, really good, even when they were missing their quarterback for about a month. But now that they have Mr. Knowles back, they look like a team that could go on a deep run. And I'm not talking just, win one game, win two games. I'm talking about Final Four level. So I like this Albany State team a bunch. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to just trample Valdosta State, but I do think they win this game. And it's going to be one of those points because, look at Albany State this year. They've beaten everybody in Division II, and they scared the bejabbers out of Florida A&M earlier this year. And who is the head coach of Albany State and who used to be a legendary quarterback at Florida A&M?
Oh, might that be Quinn Gray?
I think it would be Quinn Gray.
Yes, that's right. And which coach at his alma mater is on the hot seat right about now?
Ooh.
I'm just saying, if Albany goes on a deep run, I firmly expect the Florida A&M brain trust to back up the truck for Quinn Gray. Absolutely. Even if they don't, it's clear the man can coach, because this Albany State team has improved leaps and bounds from last year. So my overall take on this is that, like Ken said, they couldn't deny the fact that our schools at the D2 level are good and will be and continue to be great. Virginia Union, pardon me,
yeah.
They didn't even win the CIAA. They still got a home game.
Yep.
Johnson C. Smith did win the CIAA, got a home game. Kentucky State won 9 games, gets to play. Benedict won 9 games, gets to play. So and I'll never forget when the SIAC stopped going to divisions, and I talked to a few of the coaches heading into the 23 season. They were like, this is a chance for us to show that our conference is stronger together. Like, we don't have to separate us between East and West. And what happens 2 years after they go back to single divisions? 3 teams from that league get in the playoffs. So Division II HBCU football is strong as ever. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how our schools perform this weekend, and I really hope they all take care of business. Stuttering Noob said 1 more year of the softball umpire.
Oh, wow.
Good Lord.
Wow. Really?
That's cold-blooded.
So Jerry, let me ask you this. Of the 5 games, obviously we'd like all of them. We like all 5 teams to win the first round. We obviously want them to go as deep as they possibly can. But are there any particular games that out of the 5 there? How many do you suspect we could win on tomorrow?
I feel like at best we could get 4.
Okay.
There is a likelihood that we get 4. the Albany State Valdosta State game, and just a quick correction for Chris. Yes, Albany State has not lost a Division II game, but I would like to add they have not trailed in a Division II game this season. They have not trailed, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but we'll see in this game. But even though this is not the same Valdosta State team, they have caught fire as of recent. They started the season 2-4, won their last 4, and the biggest reason why they won their last 4 is their ability to force turnovers. Through the first 6 games, they only forced 7 turnovers, and one of those games they forced 4. In the last 4 games, they forced 11 turnovers. And I know this Albany State team has looked really good. They haven't looked great either. They've had those moments. The Savannah State game was too close for comfort. The SIAC championship game, they were very prone in that one. Even though Isaiah Knowles didn't play in the Tuskegee game, they were on their heels that entire contest. Now, that's not me saying that Albany State is going to lose. That's just me saying that that's a cause for concern, because this Valdosta State knows how to force turnovers and make winning plays. And if Isaiah Knowles does not play a clean game, then Albany State could be on their heels throughout that contest. Johnson C. Smith, they're going up against Frostburg State, probably one of the best passing defenses in the country. They're 4th in the country in passing yards allowed. So that's going to be a problem for Johnson C. Smith, whose biggest strength is their passing game. But one thing that they can hang their hat on is Bobby Smith, their running back, has gotten better as the season has gone on. Ended the regular season with 3 games of 100 rushing yards. So he will be a big part of Johnson C. Smith in that offense, getting loose on Johnson C. Smith. But not for nothing, DeAndre Proctor and Brian Lane have been spectacular, the 2 top receivers for Johnson C. Smith. So them and Kelvin Durham, they're going to have their hands full with that Frostburg pass defense. But if Bobby Smith can get loose on a couple of runs early and open up the passing lanes for Johnson C. Smith, I don't see why it should be a problem for them to advance in that one. Virginia Union, important to note in that Johnson C. Smith Frostburg State game, that's both of those teams' first ever playoff appearance. So one of those teams is going to get their first ever playoff win. So that's historic in its own right. And an Albany State Valdosta State game, this is the first time an HBCU has hosted a playoff game against Valdosta State. So for the first time ever, a playoff team, an HBCU playoff team, will have home field advantage against Valdosta State. So that could go in Albany State's favor as well. Now, the Virginia Union and California PA, safe to say it was not a good offensive performance for Virginia Union in the CIAA championship game. RJ Rosales, put a lot of passes in harm's way in that one and had a couple of turnovers and allowed Johnson C. Smith to get off to a pretty good start. And Curtis Allen, even though he ended up with 185 yards, a bunch of those were empty calories. So they're going to want to feed Curtis Allen early, but that passing game has to be there as well. You cannot be one-dimensional in the playoffs. We've seen that in the past with Virginia Union. It allowed them, that passing game allowed them to make that playoff run they did last year. So that passing game has to follow them into this year's playoff run if they want a chance. They're talking about being a national championship team. They didn't care about the three-peat in the CIAA championship. All they care about is being a national championship team. And it starts with the passing game. The run game is always going to be there. If the passing game doesn't follow it, they're not going anywhere. So they're going to have to add another dimension to that offense if they want a chance to win this game. Benedict goes against Wingate. Wingate has a history of being a strong defensive team, but this year it's been the offense. The run game, they have a dynamic duo of running backs whose names escape me right now. So that run defense of Benedict is going to have to tighten up if they want a chance to win that game, and they will be on the road for that one. So we'll see what Benedict is able to do in that one. And the offense has to show some consistency if they want a chance to win that game. And Kentucky State has the toughest matchup of all. They have Newberry, who is one of the most efficient offenses in Division II football only has 3 turnovers on the season. They've only turned the ball over 3 times. So Kentucky State's ability on defense to get the Newberry offense off the field will be their biggest key to getting the win. So that's my breakdown of all the matchups. If there's one that I'm most excited about, it would probably be that Johnson C. Smith Frostburg State one, because I feel like that could go either way. That could either be a shootout or it could be a methodical, whoever has the ball last wins the game type of contest. So I'm really interested in that one. And of course, Albany State and Valdosta State is going to be an interesting one. But if I'm the one that I'm most excited about, it would either be Virginia Union, Cal, PA, or it's C. Smith Frostburg State. Virginia Union, Cal, PA. But I go back and forth. These are all really exciting matchups. But for today, I'd say Johnson C. Smith Frostburg State.
Yeah. The only, and I think this was noted previously, the only thing that's kind of disappointing about it, all of the games started at the same time.
Yeah, 4 games start at 1 p.m., all on ESPN Plus. The only game that doesn't start at 1 p.m. is Kentucky State and Newberry. Right. That's at 2 p.m. Right. On ESPN Plus. So, all right. I don't like that scheduling by the D2 playoff committee. I think they need to do better with that.
Well, let's go ahead and transition, because in case you guys haven't heard, Christmas came early to the MEAC.
This is Chris's time. I had my time.
Christmas came early to the MEAC. Christmas came early to Chris, but Christmas really came early to the MEAC, because you know why? They didn't necessarily plan it this way, but it probably couldn't gotten any better than this. Tomorrow's the MEAC Championship game between South Carolina State and Delaware State, and the winner of this game goes to the Celebration Bowl. Chris Stevens, I just want you to know, brother, as a contributor to this publication and for all of your fine talents, I just want you to know that you have my permission, as I've done in the past. If you want to show your ass, if you want to take this moment to show your Delaware State Hornets loving ass, you have my permission, sir.
I'll probably wait until the final gun on Saturday to actually go off, but I do want to say this. I do want to say this. This is probably the most excited I've been about Delaware State football since I was a student. And that was 20 something years ago. And just to see that this team, who looked like the bad news, I call Virginia Lynchburg the Washington Generals of HBCU football, but Delaware State has been the Washington Generals of the MEAC the last couple of years. Like, this team has looked bad upon bad upon bad. But you take a risk in hiring a guy like Deshaun Jackson, who had only previously been a offensive coordinator in high school at a high school level, and you entrust your program to him. And if he doesn't take this seriously, then this program continues to flop. But every time I've had a chance to be around this football team, every time I've had a chance to talk to Coach Jack, he has just been like remarkably serious, remarkably intentional, remarkably focused on the task at hand. And for this team to win 8 games after only winning 1 each of the last 2 years. In fact, I would argue that Kyle Jackson earned his elevation to full-time head coach when Boise State beat Delaware State. Mm-hmm. I would absolutely argue that he earned his contract when Boise State went in there and beat the Hornets in the Lee Hall debut. And boy, what a nightmare that was.
That was actually in 2023, but
yeah,
after he became full-time head coach. But I get your point.
Yeah, but they probably say, yeah, we need to let him coach out his contract anytime he can be the D1. But yeah, since then, this team has won 8 games, which quadruples the last 2 years combined. Delaware State is playing with house money right now. There's no need to make this any more than what it is. You win the game, you go into Atlanta. You lose the game, better luck next time. And what's going to have to happen is this team cannot get penalized 18 times for 195 yards like they did against Howard last week. Mm-hmm. And Howard literally just, I said this on Wednesday, and I'm going to repeat myself. I'm not putting this on Larry Scott because I think Larry Scott is an upstanding, a stand-up dude, a good coach. I just think his players went rogue last week because there was a lot of punching at guys after the play was over, and I don't think Larry Scott told his guys to go out there and just, muck it up. I think those dudes were just mad at the season, mad at Delaware State, and just decided to, do some nasty stuff. And unfortunately, Delaware State took the bait a lot of the times. You can't do that against South Carolina State. You can't shoot yourself in the foot because South Carolina State is just going to cut the whole leg off. They have the talent to do so. Billy Atkins, the kid who transferred from James Madison, he's a Baltimore native. He has made this a two-player race with him and Walker Harris for MEAC Offensive Player of the Year. He's been phenomenal at quarterback, except for last Friday night, which we all saw when he celebrated before he got into the end zone, and that almost cost South Carolina State the game.
Can you imagine had they lost that game because of that, where we would be right now?
Dude, let me tell you, I wish I would have been able to be in that locker room if they lost that game, just to hear what they, go ahead.
Yeah, like I imagine, even though they won, I imagine Chennis Berry and that coaching staff read that man the riot act. So I guarantee you he won't make that mistake again this week. They have a stable of running backs that's really good. Tyler Smith and Josh Shaw are their two main guys. On their defensive line, Josh Barker, who came with Chennis Berry from Benedict. So is defensive back Jared Washington, who is one of the leading candidates for MEAC DPOY. This South Carolina State team is loaded. So I don't want anybody at Delaware State to think that this is going to be a walk in the park. This is going to be a fight for their lives. And this is a Delaware State team. Jack himself said it. These guys are not used to winning. This is new to them. South Carolina State, this would be their third MEAC title in 5 years. Third Celebration Bowl trip in 5 years.
Great point.
This is the only thing that's going to, change for South Carolina State is the trip. They're just coming north. This is a football game for them. For Delaware State, this is a transformative opportunity. If they win this game, if they go to Atlanta with Deshaun Jackson as head coach, this could change the trajectory of not just the Delaware State football program, but the athletic program entirely. Because Dr. Tony Allen has already done a phenomenal job with building up the university with respect to different majors, different, fields of study and things of that nature. But Delaware State as a college institution is great. The athletic programs, not so much. So if Deshaun Jackson gets this team to Atlanta, and granted, I fear Jackson State. I ain't gonna lie to you. So if Jackson State ends up winning the SWAC and Delaware State has to play Jackson State, like, oh my God, here we go. But if they can at least get to Atlanta and have Delaware State on national television, remember, Celebration Bowl is always the first bowl game of the year. That doesn't change. So we're talking about Saturday, December 13th or 14th at 12 p.m. You're going to see either TC Taylor or Tremaine Jackson, or you should see either TC Taylor or Tremaine Jackson. We'll talk more about why that could be different in a minute. And Deshaun Jackson on the other sideline, and Tiffany Green and Jay Walker introducing those two. It's a license to print money. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Delaware State does tomorrow if they can pull this off. The thing is, the two keys to me: run the ball, because they have the top rushing offense at FCS, and that's one way to keep Billy Atkins in that offense off the field. Number two, don't do anything stupid. You do that, you have a good chance to win the game. And Jared made the point last week: every time you pick against Delaware State, they win. And I was like, well, maybe I'll pick against Delaware State this week. But no, I'm going to show some faith. I'm going to show some confidence in my alma mater. I got Delaware State winning their first MEAC title since 2007, 28-24.
So real quick, and because I'm going to put you guys on the spot. I want you guys to pick who you think is going to win this game. But you guys in the chat, who you got? South Carolina State or Delaware State? Now, Chris, let me just say something real quick here, because you made the comment that you have a little fear factor associated with Jackson State. And in the event that Delaware State happens to win this game and they go to the Celebration Bowl and they face Jackson State, let me give you and the Hornets a little bit of advice. You got to have a daddy mindset. Coach Deshaun Jackson, I know I've been harsh on you in the past week and a half or so, but let me just tell you this. If for whatever reason, you're going to turn out, if you win this game and you're the MEAC representative in the Celebration Bowl and you find out you're playing Jackson State, just tell your team, guys, we are Dell State and we are representing this university. But when you get on that field, play like you're Grambling. That's the key to beating Jackson State. That advice is free. Anyway, so with that said, now I'm gonna be honest with you, Chris. Look, man, I listened to everything you said, and I'm gonna give you my pick because there's a part of me that really wants to just take out a coin and flip it because I think that's where we are. The fact that South Carolina State been there, done that, and we saw what they did last week. And then you look at Delaware State, the fact that they are playing at home, I think will be the difference maker. I'm going Delaware State by 3.
Ooh.
I think it'll be close, but I think Delaware State takes it. I think this is going to be a historic game for Delaware State and to some degree the MEAC. Jared, who you got?
First of all, Jackson State, I will never forgive you for making me hear this daddy talk. You couldn't just not commit penalties and put them in field goal range so they can kick the game-winning field goal. Now we got to hear all this daddy talk. Oh my God. Anyway, my pick for the game. I've been racking my brain, trying to think about it, going back and forth. You know, Delaware State looking the best it's looked in so long, but South Carolina State being that old, reliable team that knows how to win games, and Chennis Berry, you know, always having his team ready. But D-Jack is looking like he's coaching the game of his life, his season of his life. So I've been racking my brain, and I just came out with the transcendent pick. Whoever scores the most points.
Well played.
No. I go South Carolina State by a field goal.
Ooh. I respect that.
But it's really close. I
know.
But we've seen games where we went into it saying we went into the Celebration Bowl last year saying that game was going to be close. Spoiler alert, it wasn't.
Yep.
So this could either be like, there's literally no result that would surprise me at all. Delaware State is performing so well. I could see them winning this game in a multitude of ways. And South Carolina State is so consistent. I could see them winning this game in a multitude of ways. Nothing about this result would shock me at all. So I'm going to go. I got to go with the safe pick and say South Carolina State by a field goal.
Okay. I got you. Chris, we already know what you want. We already know you say, and I guess there are a mix of folks out here. I'm trying to figure out what some of these Delaware, let me see. So Angela Johnson says Delaware State reluctantly. I heard Deshaun Jackson say, beat all this shit.
He did say that. He did say that.
She said, Daddy sits at home for another season. So listen to your own, at your own peril.
I would never forgive your team.
Okay. So let's move on. Okay. Because we've got another key game. And we moved to the state of Florida. And we have to ask this question. But you know what? Real quick, before we do this, guys, just so you know, in the description, in the link, there are links. Take the moment right now, man. And Chris has told you, you know, we're not where we used to be, but we still got a ways to go. Donate and support HBCU Sports, support the publication and the operation, so that we can continue to give you coverage. You have the opportunity to donate via Zelle as well as Cash App. I want to tell you this now. And there's also a link, man, if you would, to that'll take you to the shops, man, and you can get you some official HBCU Sports merch. And all of that will help us support the publication as we go forward. Okay. With that said, the question that I think a lot of us are going to ask is this the year of the Wildcat? Is this the year of the Wildcat? FAMU versus Bethune-Cookman. Was it 4 in a year, right? Is it 4 in a row right now?
Since they've been in the SWAC, yep.
4 in a row. What do you guys think about Florida Classic, FAMU, Bethune-Cookman? And when you look at, I mean, look, man. Okay, let's start with this. Let's start with, because I just realized that FAMU still has 2 games left.
Mm-hmm.
They still had that makeup game, right, against Valley. And what are we to make of that? Okay, because we know what happened last year with FAMU and Valley. But what are we to make of FAMU with 2 games left in a game that literally, I think it's safe to say it would be a coin toss between the 2 teams going into the Florida Classic? And then, of course, Chris, we talk about this all the time about the future of James Cozy. And we talk about the possibility of the FAMU folks wanting to bring in Quinn Gray. Does he need to win out? Can he lose one? And I mean, what's the record right now? Is it 5-5?
5-5.
5-5. So at best they can finish 7-5. At worst they can finish 5-7. They could go 6-6. What are we to make of this matchup, gentlemen?
I can tell you now, he can't lose to Valley.
Oh, I mean, he can afford to lose to.
I was about to say
Bethune?
he can't afford to lose to Bethune.
He can afford to lose.
He cannot afford.
Oh no! I'm saying if
you're saying if he is going to lose, he that's the one he can't lose.
Yeah,
Because,
but at the same time, this Bethune-Cookman team, man, they look a lot better than they did. I mean, up until the fight, they looked like a team that was head. Stephen Campbell, FAMU is being all bad swag team. He stays his job. Well, we can't say
Bethune's not really a bad team.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can't say Bethune-Cookman is bad. The only thing that stopped Bethune-Cookman from probably putting together a winning season was the rumble in Ruston, the jabs in Jefferson Parish, the and all of that good stuff. But
Lincoln Parish. But anyway, yeah.
Okay, well, the licks in Lincoln Parish.
Yeah.
But yes, Cam Ransom is a very good quarterback. I mean, they have a multitude of receivers and running backs who can make plays. Only thing is that defense is so. Yeah. If and RJ Johnson, to his credit, has looked a lot better at quarterback at Florida A&M. It looked like he's finally gotten comfortable now. It's like RJ Johnson has finally gotten comfortable, and they still had those 2 good running backs in the backfield, Bo Somerset and Thad Franklin Jr. So I picked Bethune-Cookman to win this one, but it wouldn't surprise me if Florida A&M won this one because they are going to. I mean, if James Colsey's going to save his job, these are the 2 weeks that he needs to do it. So I'm still gonna say Bethune-Cookman pulls this one out. I do.
Looking at some of the comments now, I do want to reply to this. Keep it up, fam. I always say and will stick to the fact it takes 4 years for a new head coach to recruit his players. If you fire a head coach before, you are doing the university a disservice. You know what? That may have, and let me just say this: that might have worked maybe 3-4 years. That may have worked pre-portal and NIL. That ain't the case no more. That ain't the case no more. When Grambling signed Hugh Jackson, well, not Hugh Jackson, but Mickey Joseph to a 2-year agreement, I kind of thought that was crazy. You know what? I don't think that's so crazy anymore. You can literally be good in 1 year and be piss poor the next. And in many instances, the coach really doesn't have a whole lot to do with that. I mean, if we see players move up to the Division I level, or should I say to the Power 4 level where they're offering all this money. If that player is playing at the FCS level, and we know they can't offer that type of coin, who are we supposed to blame for that? I get it, he's responsible for wins and losses, but I'm just simply saying I don't necessarily agree with that philosophy. But what are your thoughts about the game, Jared?
I'm gonna respectfully disagree with Chris on this one. I think the game that is most important would be the Bethune-Cookman game. That's a rival that you have beaten pretty convincingly since you've been in the SWAC. You cannot afford to lose to that team because there's already people that are saying that are calling for your job now. If you lose to that team, I don't know if you can shut out Mississippi Valley State 100-0. If you lose to Bethune-Cookman, I don't see there being a chance of him staying. There's already people losing faith in him now. So, but as far as who I have winning the game, I think this is the best. We're at a crossroads where this is the best that Bethune-Cookman has looked since entering the SWAC. They far surpassed their best win total since being in the SWAC. So this is the best Bethune-Cookman has looked in the SWAC. And Florida A&M has gradually gotten worse in the just 2 years under James Colsey.
You said they've gradually gotten worse?
I mean, of course they're winning down the stretch of the season, but look who they're beating. They're beating Alabama A&M, Alcorn State, Southern. Who else they beat? All teams that we don't look at as being good or being competitive teams. So, yes, props to you for winning. That's, winning is not easy, no matter who you're facing. But it's still the fact that on the field, the way they look on the field, they don't look good. They don't. And if they don't play their best game against Bethune-Cookman, best against best, I have Bethune-Cookman winning that game. To be quite honest. Bethune-Cookman is gradually getting better. And props to Raymond Woody because he was in an unenviable position of taking over after the fiasco with old boy. And it hurts me to say that because,
he who must not be named,
because they are cousins on the other side. But like he took over after that. And he has gotten Bethune-Cookman looking the best they've looked in the SWAC. So I'm going to trust in the team that is, to me, is ascending over the team that I think is descending. And I'm going to say Bethune-Cookman wins that game.
So let me say this, Chris. I think you talked about the fact that Bethune might be affected by the suspension, but I don't think Grambling had some players who were suspended for 2 games. Their season is over with. Right. I don't recall any Bethune-Cookman players being suspended for 2 games. I think all of them had 1-game suspensions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I was talking about as much, them probably missing this game. I just felt like, it just didn't go well for them in the fact, the fallout from that. I mean,
right. Okay.
Whatever happens with that. I mean, you saw it, both teams lost last week after, that fight. So, I mean, it took a lot out of everybody. Yeah. So, I mean, was Bethune-Cookman really going to beat Jackson State? Probably not. But, this is a chance for those guys to redeem themselves, get back on an even keel, and win one of the biggest rivalries in Black college football. And I'm like Jared, I do think that Bethune-Cookman is the better football team right now, and they should be able to win it.
I agree. I give Bethune-Cookman a nod. I think this is the year of the Wildcat. And, but and for them, this is the final game. I think they end the season on a winning note. So I'm with you guys. All right.
Let me just say, pardon me, Stephen Campbell. Pardon me. I said they were losing faith. He said, make that pat. My bad. My bad. You right. When you right, you right.
Okay. So let's transition and trying to figure out, what? Let's go ahead and talk about this. Because I still don't know how I feel about it, but it's newsy, and I guess we kind of have to talk about it. Let's talk about the rumors.
Kendrick just broke some news in the chat.
No, he didn't. It's a fake report. Oh, it was a fake report, Kendrick.
All right. I was about to say. Whew. All right,
man.
All
That's a
right.
fake report.
I'll show you what he's talking about when we get offline, but it's a fake report.
Okay. All right.
Social media is a curse.
Well, even though he's doing phenomenal things right now at Kennesaw State, I'm just simply saying. But anyway, okay. So obviously, there are reports surfacing that Southern is considering Marshall Faulk for its vacant position as head coach. Now, there have been some reports to suggest that it's a done deal. However, according to Reggie Flood, Southern University insider, and let him tell you, sometimes he's an outsider. He reports that Faulk is definitely a candidate and has been interviewed for the position, but has also indicated, if I understood correctly, is a finalist among 4 others or 3 others. So there are 4 finalists supposedly in this mix. But obviously, Faulk's name pops out the most because of obviously his celebrity status, if you will, what he's done in the NFL. Wasn't he with the NFL Network? And now, of course, he's the running backs coach at Colorado, coaching under Deion Sanders. I'm going to save my comments for last, but I will leave the floor open. What do you guys think about the possibility of Marshall Faulk becoming the next head coach at Southern?
Not a fan, because there was some stuff that we talked about offline in a previous episode that lead me to believe that he's just not the guy for the job. And private conversations stay private, so I'm not going to say what was said, but I get why those statements were made, and and I agree with him. I mean, there's nothing about Marshall Faulk, number one, that leads me to believe that he would care enough. I mean, people would probably you could have made that argument about Jack or Vic, but both of those guys have proven themselves to be as good as their word. Marshall Faulk, I don't get that same sense from him. Like, there's just something about him. He just seems incredibly phony to me. And black and in our space, black people and black college culture, we can spot a $3 bill a mile away. A fake person. It ain't hard for us to tell that you here just to be here. Unless you're Jackson State and you thought Deion was really going to save HBCU, but that's another story for another day. So, but there's just a lot about Marshall Faulk that I ain't feeling it. I mean, this is the same dude who got fired from the NFL Network alongside Donovan McNabb, mind you, for asking women who are not their wives about the state of their body parts. So, maybe Colorado doesn't have a background check. Maybe Deion eschewed the background checks. I don't know, but this ain't. There's just a lot about Marshall Faulk that I'm just not. I can say what I want, Dario. Any further questions? Okay, then. There's just something about Marshall Faulk that just seems incredibly not right with me, and I just think Southern could do better in terms of who they want as far as a head coach. I think honestly, unfortunately, Fred McNair has flubbed the what's the word I'm looking for here? Audition. So I don't think they're going to consider Fred McNair, but I do. So I just think Southern could do better than Marshall Faulk, and hopefully they do. That's my personal opinion.
Jerry, you got anything to? If you don't, it's okay.
Hey, if they like it, I love it.
Okay, so my thoughts are this, man. And I say this respectfully. Southern, you're better than this. I remember when Marshall Faulk's name came up before they hired Graves. His name surfaced, and even then I could not understand, other than the fact that he's from New Orleans. I'm like, what about Marshall Faulk? What makes him such an attractive commodity to want to consider him for a head coaching position? And you guys as well, not just here on the podcast, but those of you in the chat, I still say there's something to be said about coaching experience, man. There's something to be said for that. And Southern not taking anything away from any. Southern is one of those institutions, man, to where, I view you in a sense that you don't need a celebrity hire to validate you. You don't. You are like literally one of the second or third largest HBCUs in the country. I think when we have general conversations or just broad conversations about HBCUs, Southern's going to be in that mix. Now, granted, I understand there haven't been a whole lot of winning seasons of late, but what I'm saying is that all you got to do, I understand Deshaun Jackson is probably an exception. Deion Sanders is definitely an exception. But when you look at the coaches in the MEAC year in and year out, especially when Deion Sanders was the head coach, and he took those teams to the Celebration Bowl, the coaches who didn't necessarily have sexy names, but had years of coaching experience, they ended up winning out. Buddy Pugh, he won. Trey Oliver, he won. What is it about Marshall Faulk that's so attractive that makes you want to, other than the fact that he has name recognition? He's coached, 1 year? He's coached 1 year at Colorado. And then Deion Sanders brought in, who's the other cat that played at Tampa Bay?
Warren Sapp.
Warren. Look at Colorado now. Look, man, you want to wow fans, and it probably brings in a lot of attention, media attention. But at some point, man, at what point do wins and losses matter? Because at some point, you give these coaches a chance to play, a chance to coach. And let's just say they go ahead and they reel off 1 or 2 winning seasons. Well, guess what? Because they're so famous, they're going to go ahead and take the next job, and then you're back to square one again. Especially now because you got coaches that will take off. Personally, I kind of look at what Colorado was last year compared to where they are this year. And, I say, and I've told some folks, I'm like, well, Deion Sanders had the luxury of coaching some of those players at Jackson State, and a large portion of them followed them to Colorado. What is it about Marshall Faulk, man, that's so appealing? Someone tell me that. Other than the fact that he has celebrity status. Respectfully, and I guess there's a part of me that says, okay, Norfolk State, I see why you hired Michael Vick. No disrespect, Chris Stevens. I understand why you hired Delaware State, why you hired Deshaun Jackson. Southern, you do not need Marshall Faulk. You just need to find somebody, man, who can coach. You got every facilities. You got decent facilities, man, to win. You got a hell of a fan base. Band is phenomenal. You've got all of the intangibles that are necessary. I just don't see it. I just don't see what it is about Marshall Faulk that makes him so appealing. Final thoughts before we move on to the next subject.
If there was a celebrity coach that I think would actually make sense that I would like to see, I'd like to see Teddy Bridgewater. Mm-hmm. If you're going to go to celebrity coach route, I would love to see him get an opportunity because he unceremoniously and unfairly was fired from his job in Miami, at the Miami high school. I would love for him to get consideration for that opportunity. But I think that they're looking at the different schools that have had success with celebrity hires. As you mentioned, Deion doing what he did at Jackson State. They're looking at what Eddie George did at Tennessee State. They're looking at what Deshaun is doing now with Delaware State. And even to a lesser degree, even though he technically isn't what we would look at as a celebrity hire, he was somebody with no coaching experience, and that's Eddie Robinson at Alabama State and what they're doing. So the former NFL players, that's starting to become a model for HBCUs. And I think that they could feel like they can rejuvenate their program by going in that same direction. Now, will it work? I don't know, because every head coach is not meant to be, every NFL player isn't meant to be a head coach.
Be a head coach.
There are some guys that are just meant to be analysts, or some guys are just meant to run football camps. There are some guys who are meant to be position coaches. Not everybody is made for the responsibility of being a head coach. because there's more to it than what you expect. Even Deshaun talked about there was a lot more to being a head coach than he realized. There's appliance, there's practices and meetings and recruiting and like all like that. Not everybody is built for that. Is Marshall built for that? I don't know. We'll see if he gets the opportunity. But I just put that, the extra out there that maybe they're HBCUs are looking at it as the model because they've seen guys like Deion and Eddie George and Deshaun have their success. So I don't know if this is going to be the norm, but it's looking like it's swinging that way.
And to that, I would have to say, are you doing this for wins and losses? Or are you just simply doing this for money? I mean, you have to ask, are you doing this for attention? Are you doing this for media attention? I mean, you look at Norfolk State and I guess to some degree, Delaware State, First Take's been there. Right.
Right. And,
would that have happened had they not hired those coaches? I'd say no. First Take was at Bethune-Cookman yesterday, and I'm guessing, I don't know what led to that and good for them, by the way, but I'm just simply saying, man, are you really hiring these coaches, especially these coaches that don't have head coaches? To me, that's the head scratching thing. And Jared, to your point about Eddie Robinson Jr., I will simply say this. His success the success that he's having at Alabama State didn't happen overnight.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Because what's this? Is it how long has he been there? 4 years, 5 years?
22. Since 22.
Okay. So whatever he didn't necessarily have experience-wise, I mean, you obviously hiring a proper staff matters. Getting people who probably are good in a particular position, coaches, all of that matters. And I am of the belief that over time, Eddie Robinson Jr. just simply did the work. And I think Alabama State was secure in the fact that, in terms of vetting him, probably knowing where his heart and his allegiance was, that if for whatever reason he had some huge level of success, not saying that he's not capable of doing so, but I'm just saying that he wouldn't necessarily just leave at the first offer that came his way. Not that I'm saying that anything is wrong with that, because clearly he loves his university. And as we've all seen, he's quick to tell your ass, you ain't swag.
Legendary.
So
legendary quote.
So that's my view with the news with Marshall Faulk, the Southern. I'm guessing that we'll probably know something within the next week or two, but that's kind of how I think about it. We will get to the Soul Bowl, but real quick, I do want to take a look at this slate of games for the SWAC because Chris had an opportunity to talk to MEAC and Jared obviously had an opportunity to cover the Division II games. But I do want to take a look at some of these games here because there are kind of like some key games here. And for instance, we got UAPB at Alabama State. And I think you guys are probably, I'm sure you guys will understand that Alabama State will probably be wondering, hey, coach, what's the score? Well, you know what? That may not. So no, the game starts at 12, right? And okay, and then Jackson State Soul Bowl starts at 2:30. So they got about a 2.5 hour start. But that's going to be a key game. Alabama State will be watching. PV, nothing there, right? Texas Southern and Alabama A&M. Okay.
High stakes game right there. Texas Southern, Alabama A&M. Yeah, big dog. There's no
and then, of course, FAMU and Bethune-Cookman in the Florida Classic at 2:30, and same start time with Jackson State and Alcorn State. So let me go ahead and let's get into the Soul Bowl talk, because before we do that, I want to share something with you guys that you guys have probably seen on the internet. Chris, why are you laughing, man?
I already know where this is going.
Let's take a look at, let me see. I got this. Please tell me I've got this. All right. I think I got it. All right. Let's play this real quick. and you guys will see what I'm talking about.
Feeling, oh, I got a feeling, baby. I got a feeling the J stay trying to win the swag, and them Braves ain't taking no shit like that. If we can't go,
Y'all can't go.
oh, oh,
Okay.
It's serious down there.
Yeah, it is serious. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's DD in the morning, the syndicated radio show that comes on every morning. So when I saw that, I said, you know what? It's a fair question to ask because for whatever reason, man, games like this, you just never know. I know this is really far-fetched considering what's on the line for Jackson State and for Alcorn. The only thing that, I mean, you're playing for pride at this point. And I guess, is Cedric Thomas really coaching for his job right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying that if Cedric Thomas can beat Jackson State on tomorrow, he saves his job?
That would mean they have won 6 of their last 7. And I mean,
Even though he won a game over a depleted Grambling Tigers team that had suspensions. But anyway, go ahead.
That and Lincoln, California too. Yeah, but yeah, I said it before when this team started 1-6 or whatever it was, 0-6 or whatever it was, that this team looked like they were, dealing with the substitute teacher that just walks in the class and ain't no work gonna get done. Like, oh no, we're not doing the work today. We got this sub. But they've won 5 in their last 6. So I mean, maybe there's something to be said for this team playing for pride and playing for a coach that maybe they do like. They just, did some boneheaded stuff to cost them games early in the year. But at this point, I just can't predict against Jackson State, even if Jacobian Morgan doesn't play. Even if they still have the young man, the freshman that they've started each of the last 3 games without Morgan, they had 3 running backs go over 100 yards last week. How you gonna stop that? Mm-hmm. Jackson State has a great defense. How you gonna stop that? I don't know. I mean, but if there's one thing that I can call on from personal experience, 2006, Delaware State, all they had to do was beat Howard on the last day of the regular season to win the MEAC Championship. And everybody in Green Stadium knew that Ray Petty was getting fired because Ray Petty was Rayford Petty is a good given name, but everybody calls him Ray. But yeah, everybody knew Ray Petty was getting fired, win or lose, from Howard after that game. And he unveiled a game plan that called for double reverses, wide receiver screens, kickoff laterals, you name it. He called it. And they beat Delaware State and sent Delaware State home for the winner. So, and nobody thought that Delaware State was going to lose that game to Howard, but they did. So if but I already know TC Taylor. I mean, it's like that wide receiver said, last year, don't give this guy a week to prepare for a game. You're never going to beat him. TC is one of the best prepared coaches, and his staff is going to be one of the best prepared staff. So I think whatever foolishness Alcorn State is going to try on Saturday, J State will be ready for it. So I still got Jackson State in this one.
Jared?
Jackson State.
Simple as that.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, I know.
But Alcorn is on a heater. I mean, how much stock do you really want to put in them beating Mississippi Valley State, Southern, a depleted Grambling team, and Texas Southern?
They tell you, hey, they were the next man up on the schedule. What are we supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the schedule that was put before them, so props to them for winning those games, but they also gave Northwestern State their first win in an eternity. They beat Alabama A&M, and I believe one of their last couple of wins of the season. They just barely lost to Prairie View A&M. So does the losses outweigh the wins? And I do think that this win will outweigh all of the other losses. If they were to win this game, it will outweigh all those other losses. Unfortunately, we don't live in that dream world, and you actually have to play the game. And in this real world, Jackson State will win that game. So I don't think it matters. And I'm not going to say that Cedric Thomas is going to get fired. I don't know, but there's a great possibility that it could happen.
Wow. Everything would have to align perfectly. I just don't see it happening. I don't. As a matter of fact, and I could be wrong, there's a part of me that thinks this won't even be close. I think.
Oh, are we going to say it?
What?
Are we going to say it?
Say what?
JSU by.
Oh, hell no.
Oh.
JSU never wins by 40. But they will.
When was the last time they actually won by 40? That's what
I don't know. We have to do some research. No, but I think I put it like this. The game may even start tight. Everybody be, they'll be revved up, ready to go. Alcorn may make some exciting plays, but I just think that down the line, depth will show its difference. And I say JSU at least by 2 scores. I don't. Huh?
Yeah, the only real way that I see Alcorn winning this game is if they score. I'm sorry.
If they what? If they score what? If they what?
I was about to redo the joke. If they score more points.
Oh shit.
I couldn't get through it.
No, I think, man, I don't think this is going to even be close. I think Jackson State takes. They will win this because of what's on the line. They've got it. But let me just play devil's advocate real quick, Chris, because I know you were talking about earlier. You were saying that if Dell State makes it to the Celebration Bowl and you find out that they have to play J State, you said you'd be kind of scared. But let me ask you this: let's just say worst case. Let's say J State loses and Alabama State goes to the SWAC championship game and they play PV. Regardless of who the winner is, does your view or does that fear factor go away, or do you still have concerns?
Oh no, I think we would beat either Alabama State or Prairie View. I do.
Oh, okay.
I do. But Jackson State, I think Jackson State is the top team in Black college football. People get on my case for saying that, but I think JSU is the top team in HBCU football by a country mile. So if it's Delaware State versus Jackson State in the Celebration Bowl, just go and pray. But if it's Alabama State, I feel like we have enough defensively to slow them down. If it's Prairie View, we can just run them off the field. Well, not run them off the field, but keep have the running game, keep their offense off the field. But Jackson State, well, they just got too much. They got too much weaponry. Yeah. So,
with that being said, we're not looking past South Carolina State.
Oh no. Matter of fact, I think South Carolina State, if they were to win this one, I think they have a better chance against Jackson State this year than they did last year.
This ain't nobody but Kendrick being messy.
That was an eternity ago, though.
That was before the portal, buddy.
2022.
The majority of people were still wearing masks then.
Anyway.
Yes, they were.
I bet you won't come online and say it.
Of course he's not.
Because we still your daddy. Now, anyway, Chris.
Oh, we not doing the off topic?
Well, I mean, do we have an off topic?
I said something in the.
That's right. That's right. Oh,
how you gonna say we gonna do?
I didn't mean to cut you. I didn't mean to cut you off. No, I didn't know if that's. Look, there wasn't a consensus, but okay. No, we can do the off topic.
Well, I can.
And this is about Thanksgiving.
Yeah. All right. So
Thanksgiving.
We probably won't be here on Friday, but
I might.
Oh, Ken might.
I might, because I am not going to the Bayou Classic. Well, I mean, still kind of health reasons, but someone still isn't comfortable about me going to the Bayou Classic.
You want
She still calls me by my name.
I was going to say, you want to keep your name, don't you?
She calls me by my name, but you know how you have someone, your mama used to kind of give you like, she didn't tell you couldn't.
Ooh. Oh
That
boy.
off topic gonna have to wait.
Oh boy.
That off topic gonna have to wait.
All right, now we got a special guest on.
Go ahead.
What you
come
want?
Come on in the room.
Come on, Cletus.
I'm only coming on here to say Jackson State by 40. That's it.
That's it. That's all you're gonna say over Alcorn?
Yes, overall.
You think Jackson State is gonna be Alcorn tomorrow by 40?
Of course they will. Yes.
Wait, is it 40 or 40?
40. Yeah, that's
By 40. Yes, by 40.
Okay.
In the big game, Jackson State don't let you down, man.
You want to put a wager on that?
Well,
This is history.
Think about this now.
Separate.
You can put a wager on that? Because I don't think they will.
I'll bet you Burger King. How about that?
What?
I bet you Burger King.
Did you say Burger King?
Yeah,
The hell
Burger
I-
King.
Burger.
You can have it
No.
your way if they don't do it.
Oh, that's
Ooh, Lord. This is
You up for it, Ken?
Okay, and if they don't win by 40, they don't win by 40.
Well, you pick my punishment then.
You
Oh,
call me
my.
daddy going forward.
Oh no, please.
No, I ain't doing that, bro.
Okay, well, we have no bet then. The odds, look, man, I'm just saying, you sent me to pick, you got to call me daddy.
No, I'm not doing it.
Okay, well, then there's no bet. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Kendrick Marshall.
All right, I'll see y'all later.
All right. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks, man. All right, so
All right.
like I was saying before, Kendrick hopped on to give us
yes,
give
Mr.
us,
KP. Yes. We're not gonna put
Yes.
the comment up, but yes.
yeah. At least make it Fridays at Chili's. Chili's menu is unbelievable, man. Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, okay, so Thanksgiving is next week.
Right.
And the world we live in today is a dumpster fire. Make no mistake about it. But we still have things in our individual lives that we have to be thankful for, that we do have to be thankful for, that we're grateful for, that we have, gratitude for. So I wanted to ask everyone, if you're in the chat, you can tell us what you're thankful for, something you're grateful for. Ken, Jared, you guys can go and I'll go later. And then after that, we can talk about what our favorite foods are. All right. So
I'll
Ken,
start, man.
what you thankful for, man?
I am, given what I've gone through recently, man, I am thankful for my health. I am thankful for the ability to be able to talk with you guys. I'm thankful for the opportunity to be able to do what we do on this platform. And it's like this, and I'm dead serious when I say this. It's amazing when you sit in the hospital bed, either just going into major surgery or just getting out of major surgery. You have a tendency to reflect on the little things, man. And I had to remind myself, and was even reminded, how we take the little things for granted. And that knowing that today I woke up this morning, there was probably a number of people around the world who didn't wake up this morning. So do know I am thankful for health. I am thankful for you guys. I'm thankful for the lovely Mrs. Rashad, even though there are times when she won't call me by my name. And I'm just thankful for family in general. So, even though I will be missing the Bayou Classic for the first time, and I'm still trying to figure it out. I think the last time I missed the Bayou Classic was the year that it went to Houston for Katrina.
Oh, wow.
And then, we won't even talk about the years before that. But do know, man, I am thankful for the little things that I didn't necessarily put in consideration prior to, but I am thankful. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just life in general, you know, as uh, Ken talked about the little things. Like, there's things that every day we take for granted. Just being able to do this,
Mm.
Yeah.
being able to do this, being able to stand up. Because, you know, with I've had to go visit family members in the hospital many a times in my life, and I see people who it pains them just to get out of bed to go use the bathroom. Just like digesting food, it is difficult for them, you know. So like that, I know there's a lot of things, superficial things that people, the monetary things that people they value, and I'm not here to judge anyone, but you know, just think about the things that you do on a daily basis. That there are people around the world who would give anything to have that. You know what I mean? Just like being able to move your toes and actually feel it,
Mm.
have movement in your fingers. You know, so yeah, that's really what I'm thankful for. Just life, health, family. You know, I still have two mothers living. You know, God bless my grandfathers who's gone on to be. You know, and the fact that I can still talk to my mom and dad every day, because I know there are people who, you know, have to deal with that pain, and I don't wish that pain on anyone. Yeah, just that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And since I brought this topic up, I will go. Honestly, this last year has tested my faith and patience. And this is coming from an agnostic person. Like, I stopped going to church when I was 17. So when I say this year has tested my faith, I mean that. But at the same time, like Jared said, and like Ken said, you wake up every day, and the beauty of this life is when you get a chance to wake up every day, that means it's a new adventure. That's how I choose to look at life. It's like, oh, what is today gonna give me? Like, I woke up this morning excited because, as I said at the beginning of the broadcast, I got to interview one of my the co-founder of one of my favorite funk bands, and I think I need to go ahead and give Ken Rashad a thank you because he was the one that told me. He said, "You really need to go ahead and start that music podcast because you know more about this stuff than anybody else." And in the last 6 months, I have interviewed three of my favorite funk bands of all time. And I got a text from the PR person, Michael Cooper's PR person, and she said she loved the interview. Mike loved the interview. So I'm doing something right. And I'm doing something I enjoy. Two things I enjoy. How many people get to say from a professional and creative standpoint that they get to do something that that's a hobby for them that they enjoy, get to do something that they love for work, and have the person you work for encourage you to do so. So I'm thankful for Ken Rashad for giving me this opportunity. And I'm thankful just, for, again, a new adventure every day. Like when you wake up, I wake up now, you just, okay, what's the day going to bring? What's the lesson I can learn? What's the thing I can change? What's the thing I can improve on? So just, again, grateful for every single day because you never know what's going to happen. And, we all, again, this world is a nightmare. But
Mm.
if you still have family, if you still have friends that love you, if you still have feeling in all your extremities, if you can still enjoy whatever hobbies or, passions or vices that within reason that you can, you should enjoy them because you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. And if you get to tomorrow, you just are glad to get there. So again, I'm glad for being able to get up today and chase my dreams some more, be able to cut up with these guys and talk with y'all in the chat. So that's what I'm thankful for. And one last thing, because this was a two-parter. What is your favorite Thanksgiving food and your favorite Thanksgiving dessert?
Favorite Thanksgiving food and favorite Thanksgiving dessert.
Yeah, like dinner and dessert. Put together.
For whatever reason, I do love dressing. And I said dressing, not stuffing.
There's a
I prefer
difference.
dressing. And I've been doing this since I was a little kid, man. There's something about dressing in just a tad bit of cranberry that just, for whatever reason, just goes down so good. So good. And as far as favorite dessert goes, man, God rest her soul, man. My aunt Thelma, man, made a mean strawberry cake. Oh my God, it was, and keep in mind, man, she's, Louisiana, my folks, Grambling, Louisiana. If you guys read the book, that is literally, I didn't just go there. My family is literally, my mother graduated from Grambling High. That is kind of like where my roots go. Okay. And she made that strawberry cake from scratch, brother. And I'm here to tell you, man, I haven't tasted any. Every time I eat strawberry cake to this day, I'm disappointed. Now, I did have some recently from my sister-in-law. She had a birthday party and had a little piece, and it was actually pretty good. So no disrespect to anyone who says they've got a nephew or a relative or someone who makes a mean strawberry cake. I'm just simply saying it's not better than the one that my Aunt Thelma used to make. Just saying, no disrespect to you, but it's my opinion. It's my opinion. That's it. That's my favorite food and favorite dessert.
All right, Jared.
My favorite food is the leftover Thanksgiving slider, which is a homemade roll with a piece of ham, a piece of turkey, macaroni and cheese. That person knows who I'm talking to. Macaroni and cheese and mashed potatoes. And if you want a little bit of sweet in there, put a little slice of cranberry sauce in there. So the Thanksgiving slider is my favorite food. And my favorite dessert, I've seen everybody say it in the chat, and I'm going to repeat it. Sweet potato pie. Specifically for Thanksgiving, it is the best dessert that you can have. But I wouldn't mind a nice piece of peach cobbler. I wouldn't mind a nice little slice of chocolate cake. We don't do none of them sheet cakes. All due respect to my mom who makes sheet cakes, but not for Thanksgiving. And to my mom, who's probably watching, don't put no seafood in the mac and cheese for Thanksgiving. You can do that any other day of the year.
You better.
No crab mac and cheese, none of that. The seafood mac and cheeses. For Thanksgiving, give me the run of the mill mac and cheese. You can say the crab mac and cheese any other day of the week, any other day of the year, but the last Thursday in November, none of that.
Miss Kathy, I just want you to know I didn't know he was going to say that. Okay.
Same here.
We need him. So whether you slap him across his head, slap him in the lip.
Thank you, Kendrick.
Tap that ass. Just know.
No experimenting on Thanksgiving.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Playing with the chat. That's Kendrick.
No experimenting on Thanksgiving. If you can't cook, don't bring no dishes. It's gonna go in the freezer. It's gonna go in the freezer.
I've had some experience with that. I wish. I'm not gonna call her out. But that's my. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Well, for me, it's recent. My younger brother, who graduated from culinary school, his turkey is elite. I don't know. I don't know if he's got the Colonel's 11 herbs and spices or what, but I look forward to his turkey every single year, dog. And he's only 21 and he's throwing down like that. Keep trying to get this boy, one of these chef jobs around town, but he's working in construction now, but I hope he, finds his way back to the kitchen sooner rather than later. But his Thanksgiving turkey is elite. Now, I'm going to brag on myself for dessert. My cream cheese pound cake is undefeated. Been tried by every single family member over the age of 50 and 65. And they ask for it, whether it's Thanksgiving or not. So I'm just going to brag on myself and say my cream cheese pound cake is my favorite dessert, even though I only get like maybe one slice because everybody else gets to it. I mean, and by the time I get to it, it's like one slice of it. It's like, damn, I made the cake and I can't even eat my own cake. But if everybody else is eating it, you live with that. So those are my choices for favorite food. And I think this is the part where Ken asked me to do the thing I do because we're done here.
Not quite. Because
Okay.
I do want to take the time to just acknowledge some of these the comments that were made.
Oh
Before
yeah, that's right. We got people in the chat.
Because someone asked me the question, and I guess while I was telling the story about the missus not being all that crazy about me going to Bayou Classic, he did ask the question, Ken, does she make you want to drink gin at times? Now
Don't answer that.
I will just simply say this. I don't drink gin. I don't like gin, to be honest with you. I just don't. But I guess when you've been married as long as I have, there are those occasions where she might drive me crazy. But you know what? I'm pretty certain, and I know I can speak from experience. I'll probably drive her ass crazy more than she does me. Okay, so that is my heartbeat. She is my heart and soul. And I'm just telling you, man, you talk about somebody I'm grateful for, because when I knew she loved me prior to the hospital, but when I tell you she took care of my ass while I was in the hospital, baby, she was there. So she hasn't driven me to drink since I got out, because first of all, I'm not allowed to drink. And I'm not a big drinker, but every once in a while I'm like, okay, but I will drink some bourbon. Just saying. All right. I'm looking at some of these comments. Let me see. What's this? It says, I'm grateful for the Most High protection. I went to visit my family in Laurel, Mississippi during the fall of 1975. The cops surrounded me. A non-melanated cop put a gun in my ear. Afterwards, they let me go. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, thankful you still
Well,
here,
I'm thankful you are here. Exactly. Let's see.
M. Ford had a good one. I was looking at his earlier. Oh, yeah, here it is. I'm thankful for my new career opportunity that starts December 1st. 1 year to the, I guess it's maybe 1 year to the day from being furloughed. I'm thankful for all the HBCU sports shows that have kept me sane during this time period. And we're glad to be here for y'all, man. I mean,
thank you, Noob. Appreciate you.
Yeah, congratulations. And just, we talk about sports here, but if you guys need, we serve as I think we serve as a fair distraction from the foolishness that's going on out in the world today. So, if we get you guys through whatever it is we getting you through, we greatly, are glad to do it. So.
One more thing I wanted to add I want to say I'm thankful for all the Black people in the medical field, because I saw a story in Indiana, a friend of mine who's working in the medical field, the tech portion of the medical field. She shared a story with me about a hospital that she's working at, where a Black woman was put out of the hospital. Was put out of the hospital while she was going into labor.
In labor.
And she was forced to give birth in her car outside the hospital because they were out. Yep. So I want to say thank you to all the good medical professionals who are actually doing things for the greater good, and say a prayer for them, because apparently Trump is doing some things that are going to make nursing and the other positions in the medical field obsolete. So just want to say thank you to all the medical professionals who are doing the best they can through this unfortunate time.
Let me just add this one from Silas. Said, tomorrow marks 43 years that I've been a Christian, a real one, not this stuff that's been in the media. I accepted the Lord Jesus Christ as my Savior on the campus of Prairie View A&M. God bless you, brother.
God bless.
God bless you. And I guess happy anniversary, because I know exactly what you mean, the ones in the media. All right, Chris, I think we are at that point. You know what? I feel the need to say this. I like to wine you and dine you in a cozy little. Anyway, yeah, man, he had an interview with Michael Cooper, and I know he wasn't with Confunction at the time, but I'm just simply saying.
Not the Lakers, Michael Cooper. Not the Lakers.
Because Kendrick Crazy Butt put that in the chat. He said the dude from the Lakers started a band. No, there's two.
Not
Michael
the defensive player of the year, Michael Cooper.
Yeah. This Michael Cooper, man.
Michael Cooper from Vallejo, California. Yeah, it was a play. It was an
honor.
It was an honor and privilege to talk to him. But yes, this is the part of the show where I tell you guys all the important stuff you need to know before we get up out of here. So we want to thank y'all for tuning into this edition of HBCU Sports Live. We greatly appreciate your time as always. Be sure to follow us on all manners of social media. We're on the Musty app. That's Twitter, TikTok, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. Search for HBCU Sports. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, become a level 1 or level 2 member For the neat and tidy sum of $4.99 a month, you can get all of that HBCU sports news that's fit to print and broadcast, as we like to give it to you. If you would like to donate, you can go to the Zelle app, donate at hbcusports.com, type that in. We're also on Cash App. You can do the $, HBCU Sports, donate there. We also have a donation website page. Who didn't?
You talking about Kendrick?
Oh, of course Kendrick did. But yeah, hbcusports.com/donate. You can donate there. And like Ken said, we got merch, we got t-shirts, we got cups, we got tumblers. We got all sorts of stuff. You never know. We might actually be starting selling HBCU Sports themed cars. You never know. Just go to the website, hbcusports.com, look for the store and go there. And once again, we thank you guys for rocking with us so far this football season. We got we got a few good weekends left, but this one is a big one. So enjoy the football, and we will have the coverage for you on the back end.
We gone.